I'm still halfway in there too.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the August 6, 2018 meeting of the Stillwater City Council. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think I was actually supposed to call the meeting to order first, but I'll go ahead and do that now. Call the meeting to order, and that takes us to item 3, consent docket. Councilors, are there questions or comments on the consent docket?
Motion to accept the consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent docket. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the consent docket is approved. I'll note here that Councilor Woodlake unfortunately had a work emergency and will not be here this evening. Item 4, public comment on agenda items not scheduled for public hearing. We don't have anyone signed up for that. We do have one public hearing later. If you want to speak at the public hearing, make sure you go see Patty and sign up before we get there. Well, we're there. Too late. Item 6, public hearings. Item A, receive public comment regarding a request for a map amendment to rezone a portion of property addressed as 1940 West 26th Avenue from RT Residential 1 and 2 Family District to RSS Residential Small Lot Single Family District. This is CC-18-91. Mr. McNichol.
Lance Gross will provide the information on that item.
Thank you, and good evening. The map amendment before you is for the Teal Ridge Estate located at 1940 West 26th Avenue. The purple boundary indicates the subject site. It's currently zoned RT, Residential 2 Family, and RT is also located to the north and to the east. RSS, Residential Small Lot Single Family, is located to the west and also to the south. This is a view of the site. Actually, the site is back behind this group of trees right here. But the original zoning allows for duplex, and that was the original intent by the developer. But now he wishes to build single-family residential structures. So he's wanting to rezone it to RSS. Be happy to answer any questions.
Councilors? Nope. All right. I will go ahead then and open the public hearing. We have one speaker. Kelly, I can't skip you this time because you're the only one.
Thank you. Kelly Harris with Keystone Engineering here representing the owner tonight. Our address is 923 South Lowry. I'm going to pull Lance's picture back up here of the site. Here we go. So the Teal Ridge Estates, you've seen the preliminary plat. It actually goes all the way down to 26th. And so this is the RSS area down here. And then the north half of our preliminary plat is zoned RT. So we have two different zoning classifications in our preliminary plat. And the owner wants to make it clear we're only doing single-family homes planned in this area. He does want to keep the option in this next phase he owns on up, but to do RT. But in this phase, all we want is RSS. And so we want to just carry that RSS zoning all the way up to this next street. So we're asking for tonight. Any questions for me?
Can't you build single-family homes in an RT?
We can. So right here where those two zoning classifications meet, there we go. Due to kind of this bottleneck right here, there were one or two lots that we couldn't meet the minimum lot size requirement required in RT, and so we meet it in RSS. So in instead of just adjusting that lot line to where we needed it to be, we'll just rezone the entire thing.
And that lets you put smaller lots there for those single-family
Yes.
homes? Okay. Other questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, we have no one else to speak, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and ask Lance to come back with staff recommendations.
The Planning Commission made a recommendation by a vote of 4-0 to recommend approval of the application.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilors, comments, questions, or motions?
Motion to adopt accept the Planning Commission recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept Planning Commission recommendations on CC-18-91. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that item is approved. All right, that takes us down to item 7A, resolutions. Resolution number CC-2018-11, a resolution of the City of Stillwater, Oklahoma, approving the policy guide for assistance in development financing for implementation of the Stillwater Reinvestment Plan, a Stillwater Downtown Campus Link Project Plan, and Increment District Number 3, City of Stillwater. This is the policy guide that we discussed last time, and some revisions were made to that plan based on our discussion, and it is now back before us. So based on those revisions, comments or questions at this point, councilors?
I appreciated getting the new addition, and thank you very much for doing that. I hope that if we do adopt this tonight, it will be on the city website soon with the additions.
Shouldn't be a problem. We can get that at the
Should not be a problem.
The draft is up there, right? Just not the one we haven't got.
Right.
The one that we looked at last
Okay.
week is up there.
Okay. All right, further discussion or motions?
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number CC-2018-11. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the resolution is adopted. Takes us to item B, resolution number CC-2018-17, a resolution authorizing officers to perform certain transactions regarding City of Stillwater-owned certificates of deposit. Mr. McNichol?
That
Or Mr. Dorman?
resolution, well, we own some stock that was received,
No,
This is for CDs, right?
We have certain CDs on file at one of the exchange banks.
oh,
We needed to change out the signatory authority to changes in staffing,
Yep.
and so that's what this affects.
This doesn't let them take the money out themselves, right?
No,
Okay.
not unless they're named the City of Stillwater.
Can't hear us? We'll speak. We'll speak into the microphones. Thank you. All right, councilors, further discussion, comments, or motion on resolution CC-2018-17?
Motion to adopt resolution number CC-2018-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution CC-2018-17. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the resolution is adopted. That takes us to item 8A, ordinances on first reading. Ordinance number 3410, an ordinance rezoning attractive land at or near 1306 West University Avenue, as more particularly described in this ordinance, from a residential two-family and multifamily RTM district classification to a residential multifamily intermediate RMI district classification. Mr. Dorman, this is
These were
the,
just previously approved.
yeah. Councilors, comments, or motion?
Motion to adopt ordinance number 3410,
Advance.
advance to second reading. Yes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to advance ordinance number 3410 to second reading. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the ordinance is advanced. Item B, ordinance number 3411, an ordinance rezoning a tract of land at or near 310 and 324 South Monroe Street, as more particularly described in this ordinance, from a residential multifamily intermediate RMI district classification to a residential multifamily urban district classification. Counselors?
Motion to advance to second reading?
Second?
We have a motion and a second to advance ordinance number 3411 to second reading. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the motion's advanced to second reading. I have to get ready for this one.
Yeah, it may take a while.
All right. Item C, ordinance number 3413. An ordinance amending and repealing portions of Chapter 3 Stillwater City Code titled Alcoholic Beverages by amending Article 1 in general, Section 3-1 definitions, Section 3-2 unlawful manufacture, sale, possession, etc. generally, Section 3-3 maintaining a place where sold contrary to law, Section 3-4 location of package stores, wholesalers, and mixed beverage establishment, Section 3-5 hours of operation, Sections 3-6 underage persons not permitted in package stores or licensed premises, Section 3-7 minors not to be employed in selling or handling, exceptions, Section 3-8 possession by underage persons, Section 3-9 underage persons not to misrepresent age in order to buy alcohol or gain entry to a licensed establishment, Section 3-12 containers not to be opened or beverages consumed in package store, Section 3-13 loitering where alcoholic beverages are sold, etc., Section 3-14 public intoxication, Section 3-15 drinking alcoholic beverages in public, Section 3-16 transportation, adding new Section 3-17 permitting or allowing gatherings where minors are consuming alcoholic beverages and any controlled substances, amending Section 3-17 violations and renumbering it Section 3-18, amending Article 2 occupation tax on retailers and wholesalers, Section 3-26 levied amount, Section 3-27 payment required, Section 3-28 payment generally, Section 3-29 when due and payable, prorating, Section 3-30 use of funds, Section 3-31 occupation tax non-transferable or non-refundable, and Section 3-32 function of city clerk. Repealing Article 3, State Licensees, Section 3-75, Underage Persons on Premises, Section 3-76, Hours of Operation, and Section 3-77, Violation of Laws. Amending Article 3, State Licenses, Section 3-78, Application for a Certificate of Zoning Compliance and Certificate of Compliance with Fire, Safety, and Health Codes, and renumbering it as Section 3-33. Amending Section 3-79, Investigation of Applicant, and renumbering it as Section 3-34, amending Section 3-81, issuance of certificates, temporary certificates, and renumbering it as Section 3-35, repealing Article 4, Low Point Beer, Division 1 generally, Sections 3-86 through 3-98, repealing Article 4, Low Point Beer, Division 2, Retailer's License, Sections 3-106 through 3-115, providing for severability and establishing an effective date. This is modified city ordinance related to the new state alcoholic beverage laws that go into effect October 1st, correct?
Yes, and in fact, as you probably have noticed, the title is longer than what's left of the ordinance. But yes, that's what will happen. And basically, what we've done is we've gone through and we have reshuffled the definitional section to incorporate all the new definitions and licensing types that the state of Oklahoma has established with the new laws. There's some extensive revision to what we call the occupational tax, which is the way that the city actually licenses the premises that operate here. We've eliminated all of the low point beer provisions. We eliminated the separate section on licensing and package stores, and then basically turned those into one section that falls under the general rules. And then we've kept the old sections with regard to offenses and things of that nature, like underage drinking, transporting an open container, and all of that. And that's why you have kind of the odd numbering that is in there. But rather than to change all of that right now, We left that in place so that the officers who are carrying schedules right now and the court clerks don't have to change all of that stuff after October 1. But as the ABLE rules and the statutes start to evolve, you will probably see this again in the next year or so. But this will get us into full compliance on October 1 when all of those new provisions go into effect.
So we're not the only city doing this?
No, everyone's doing
Everyone's
this.
having it.
Oklahoma City and Norman have already made some very significant changes to their ordinances. And I'm assuming that just basically everyone will have to do that, or they will have problems come October 1.
Mayor, if I may, one thing that I think it's important to note about this change in ordinance is that in the past, the law reclassifies beer as alcohol. And when it reclassified beer as alcohol, it means that it has to be purchased and consumed on a licensed premise. So beer troughs on the sidewalk is a thing of the past in terms of being able to buy it and consume it once you leave that area. At least you can't open it. So.
And one of the things that's interesting too is that with the elimination of Low Point beer, that was the last thing that the cities had control over. And so now ABLE will be licensing all of the premises and all of, like if you have events, for example, you will have to come and get an event license and they will license a particular area. So things going on at Block 34 or Main Street events and all of that, all of those things will have to be done well in advance to make sure that ABLE can come in and license them. The good news, so to speak, is that you will be able to license a broader array of things because you can get a mixed permit for those types of events now as opposed to a beer-only type license. But it's going to require some changes in how we do things. The city, for example, will not be able to hold a license anymore. And depending on ABLE is telling us that the trusts won't be able to either, so we're probably going to have to change how we do things at the community center, for example. Probably will require persons that want to serve alcohol there to engage someone who has a caterer's license. So there's a lot of changes. While we're certainly modernizing the laws, at the same time, the state is basically exerting full control over that, at least initially.
And I know we haven't finalized our approval of the event process. Is this timeframe reflected in that new event process that we looked at?
I'm not sure we know what that time frame is yet because this is all so new. Talked to a local restaurateur the other day that was very concerned about the amount of time it was taking with ABLE. So as soon as we know what that approximate turnaround time is, we will change that.
Good.
And I think, like you said, we will expect that the state laws will be changing quite frequently here over the next couple of years as they actually figure out what the effect of the law that they've changed so far is, right?
Right, and ABLE is telling us that. I
Yeah.
mean, the legislature passed probably a dozen or so different provisions to amend what was done in the legislative part of the referendum that enabled all of this at the beginning. And so ABLE had to wait until the legislature adjourned before they could even start writing the regulations. So they're just now winding some of that stuff up, and they've been issuing interim licenses in the meantime. And I mean, you have 77 counties, and 17 counties voted wet, so now everybody's wet. So now they're having to license all of those places. And good luck getting somebody to answer the phone down there. They are really slammed right now.
Okay, so we're going to be as responsive as we can from a city perspective, but we've lost some of the control we have over alcohol law and regulation.
We've lost some things, but in the end, I think this is going to be a good thing for everybody. But we'll be ready October 1st, whether the state is or not.
All right, further questions, comments, or a motion, counselors?
Motion to advance ordinance number 3413 to second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to advance ordinance 3413 to second reading. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the ordinance is advanced. All right, that takes us down to item 9, reports from officers and boards. Mr. Dorman.
One item tonight, request an executive session pursuant to 25 OS subsection 307C10 for the purpose of conferring on matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or the creation of a proposal to entice a business to locate within the city of Stillwater, because public disclosure of the matter to be discussed would interfere with the development of products and services and would violate the confidentiality of the business.
Thank you. Mr. McNichol.
2 items, Mayor. First, I would like to welcome some new employees. Greg Adams, Civil Engineer in the Transportation Department. Sharon Burrow, Police Records Management Technician. Connor Hess, an Entry Maintenance Worker. Lewis Monroe, an Operations Specialist. Matthew Stanley, Entry Maintenance Worker. And Sabrina Odom, Maintenance Worker at the airport. So we welcome those new employees. And I am excited to report that this past Monday we had our 100,000th passenger fly on our American Airlines services. And I want to point out to you that the anniversary is August 23rd. So
The second anniversary, right?
the second anniversary. So 100,000 passengers in a little less than 2 years, which is a big deal. It's an important milestone for Stillwater Regional Airport's commercial service, and we'd like to thank everyone who's contributed to its success. And it was a local person who happened to walk into the line at the right time to be that 100,000th passenger. And we'd especially like to express our appreciation for OSU's partnership with the airport over the past 2 years. They've been an integral part of this endeavor, and we're excited to see what the coming years hold.
Excellent. You guys were some of you guys were out there at like 5 o'clock in the morning to
We were.
take part in that
Yeah,
ceremony.
we were. It's exciting.
And that woman was surprised.
And she
nice
was
prize
actually a
package.
teacher for Counselor Wedlake.
Really?
So Counselor Wedlake, yeah. It was neat that he was out there.
That's great. All right. Excuse me. Counselor Zanotti.
I'm actually going to piggyback on Mr. McNichol's points about the airport. There's another exciting update for the airport. We recently launched a new website. Check it out at flystillwaterok.com. Remember to book flights out of Stillwater using the airport code SWO on American Airlines website.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Darlington.
This is one of the side pieces of being a counselor. Everybody asks you, what's being built there? What's going in there? Well, if you've been curious about what specific construction projects are happening around town, chances are we do have them listed on a project page with all the information you're looking for. Just go to stillwater.org/projects. Here you'll find a list of categories for both city and commercial projects that'll help you narrow down your search. Or you can call me, and I'll look it up on the website and tell you.
I'm going to call you then.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. Counselor Jaloski.
It's August, so that means school's back in session. I can't believe that. But we want to welcome all the new and returning OSU, Meridian Tech, and NOC students. A quick reminder that if you live in a neighborhood without recycling services, most recyclables are accepted at the Convenience Collection Center on South Perkins Road. And of course, we wish all students in Stillwater the best of luck in their studies this year.
It's getting ready to get real busy around here.
It is, in our house too.
Yep. And I will chime in here and remind you that the next Food Trucks and Tunes event will be August 17th. As usual, there will be live music, a kid zone, and lots of food and fun. This is the second to last Trucks and Tunes event of the season, so make plans to be there this month, and then mark your calendars for September's event, which will be on September 21st.
Well, and aren't they partnering the Night Out? Stillwater Police Officers?
Yeah.
That's the National Night Out also. So
Yes. Do we know the date? Do you have the date?
It's that.
It's the same one?
It's the same night.
Oh, it's this August one.
It's this
Yes.
August
That's right.
17th. Yep.
Yeah, it'll
So
be
they'll
National
there.
Night Out, so
Yeah.
there'll be
Opportunities
police
for families to
department.
come and interact with the Stillwater Police Department and the different departments and the police officers. I think it's just an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a great,
It's very
great
fun.
networking, yeah.
Yeah, get to
And-
see lots of equipment.
Yep.
We'll hope the heat index is not 115.
Hopefully, we got the end of that already this year. Okay, that takes us down to item 11, which is appointments. We do have two boards on the agenda tonight for appointments. Open this one up. First, we have the Building Trades Board, which has a vacancy on the one seat, which requires them to be a home builder. We don't have an applicant that's qualified for that seat yet, so that one will remain vacant. We also have Cade Pearson, whose term expired this summer. His first term expired this summer, and he is interested in serving another term. We do have one other application on file currently, but I think I'd like to have Mr. Pearson continue to serve for another term. So I will make a motion to nominate Cade Pearson for another term on the Building Trades Board.
Second?
Can we move on to the next one and do them together, or should I do them?
Let's go ahead and vote
Okay.
separately.
So we have a motion and a second to reappoint Cade Pearson to the Building Trades Board. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, he is appointed to a new term. Thank you for your service. Second item, Board of Drainage Appeals. We have 2 vacant seats on the Board of Drainage Appeals, and we have 2 qualified applicants, both from Matthew Mitchell and from Daniel Storm, who are both qualified hydrology people, hydrologists, people who understand hydrology, which is great because I don't understand it. So we do have two qualified applicants for those seats, and I will make a motion to appoint both Matthew Mitchell and Daniel Storm to the Board of Drainage Appeals.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Matthew Mitchell and Daniel Storm to the Board of Drainage Appeals. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, those appointments are approved. Thank you all for your service. These boards are places where a lot of the city's business gets done. The drainage appeals and building trades, those are pretty specialized areas where we need people who understand those areas to come help make decisions and make sure we're moving in the right direction in those areas. So if you are interested in boards, those are all listed on our website. You can get in there and take a look and see where there might be a place for you to serve. All right, let me get back to my other page here. We're going to go ahead and recess the City Council meeting at this point and move over to the Stillwater Utilities Authority. So at this point, I will call to order the August 6, 2018 meeting of the Stillwater Utilities Authority. And we will go down to the consent docket. Trustees, comments or questions on the consent docket?
Mayor, I would like to pull item B, please.
Okay, we'll pull item B from the consent docket. Is there a motion regarding the remaining items?
Motion to approve the consent docket minus item B.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve item A on the consent docket. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that item is approved. We'll drop down now to item 4, items removed from the consent docket. Councilor Darlington?
I would just I have a couple of questions about the length of time that this is kind of hung around, and thank you, Mr. Mills. It said that part of the reason that it was delayed was problems getting with property owners and surveying efforts, and I didn't know in the explanation that that had all been resolved. It does say that the project is ready to go, but I wanted to make sure that there wasn't going to be another hiccup.
Okay, good evening. You're right, there's 2 major reasons for the delay. The first being a very reluctant property owner, at every stage of our investigation in the project, from getting on the property to do surveys, doing geotechnical investigations, and other issues that came up through the preliminary investigation for the alignment of the project. The other large or biggest reason for the delay is the Water 2040 and simply the drain on all our resources to keep that major project going. But as far as we do not have resolution on all the issues with this property owner.
You do not?
Do not. We do not have, we don't have signed easements. That's what we wanted to pick back up at this point and select the alignments that's best for the city and for the utility and for the ratepayers, and get back with the property owner, having kind of eliminated other options.
I imagine you're as frustrated as I am that one person could delay a project this long, and I understand that the influence of Water 2040 and the great resources that have to go into that, but really?
Well, yes, and this, let me be clear, this is not a Water 2040 project, so I didn't mean to tie the two together.
I know, you were busy with Water
no.
2040 separate from this.
Yeah, I understand. I just want to make sure I hadn't confused anyone else. But yes, we try diligently, we don't want to go to condemnation at all. So we're trying to be very patient and explain things and help get any property owner comfortable with what we're doing. It's not always, they're not always going to like it. We try, to explain everything, show them the options and work through all their concerns. We've done this with Water 2040, 120, 130 properties, and not had to move to eminent domain on any of them. And so that approach sometimes does stretch our patience, and it has in this situation.
And increases the cost to all the citizens.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, given the item on tonight's agenda, it increases the cost to the ratepayers.
Yes. No simple answers. Whoops. He thought so.
And there's also, the other side of that coin is that, just pressing forward without trying to address those concerns can lead to costs in condemnation and time delays as well. So we realize that there's, potential impacts whichever the approach.
No simple answer.
Right.
3 years does seem like quite a long time.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
Does that happen very often?
No, this is quite unusual.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustees, comments, questions,
That
or motions?
motion to approve item B on the consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item B from the consent docket. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, item B is approved. Takes us to reports from officers and boards. Mr. Dorman.
Nothing to report, sir.
Mr. McNichol.
No item, sir.
Trustees,
No, thank you.
is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the Stillwater Utilities Authority meeting. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the Stillwater Utilities Authority meeting is adjourned. I'll now reconvene the Stillwater City Council meeting, and we are at item 12, executive session. Is there a motion to enter executive session?
I'll move to enter executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter executive session. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, we'll now enter executive session. Thank you.